remember doing surveillance?
Look, if you're going to ask me any more questions, because I don't remember any of that.
Well, I am asking you questions.
I know, but I guess my point being is, obviously you're accusing me of doing something to this guy.
What would you think I'm accusing you of?
I don't know, but I want a lawyer.
Okay. All right.
Because obviously you're accusing me of something.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back to the Scream Files, where we dive deep into the most shocking true crime cases. Today, we're covering a 2-decade-old cold case that was solved in 2020 out of Jacksonville, Florida. A former Jacksonville homicide detective, William Baer, was arrested, along with his ex-wife, Melissa Jo Schaefer, in connection with the 1999 murder of Saad Kawaf. On May 17, 1999, Saad Kawaf, a convenience store owner, was attacked outside his home while leaving for work. His wife later told police that she heard a scream and saw her husband being dragged into their garage while being beaten and stabbed. She was also attacked by a female assailant, dragged back into the home, and bound. During the struggle, Mrs. Kawaf managed to bite the attacker, unknowingly collecting DNA that would become crucial evidence decades later. At the time, the investigation went cold. Despite collecting some evidence, authorities were unable to identify the attackers. However, the case remained active and was featured in First Coast News' Unsolved series in 2020. New investigative techniques, specifically genetic genealogy, were later used to re-examine the DNA evidence. This ultimately led detectives to Melissa Schaefer and through her to William Baer. Sources say Baer had been assigned to monitor Kawaf's home while working for the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office Intelligence Unit. Authorities believed Kawaf was illegally selling allergy medicine at a store and suspected he kept large sums of cash at his home, a possible motive for the attack. In July 2020, William Baer and Melissa Schaefer were formally arrested and charged with murder. The state attorney's office emphasized the significance of cold case work and the critical role genetic genealogy played in solving this case. A statement from Kawaf's family expressed gratitude for law enforcement's perseverance, noting that they had waited over 20 years to see justice served. Following his arrest, William Baer was brought in for interrogation.
Okay. And I did pronounce that correctly, Baer. I'm Detective Radigan. Your name's come up in an investigation of mine. I'd like to ask you a few questions about it. Prior to doing that, though, I'm going to ask you or advise you of your Miranda warnings. And I got to ask you a couple questions. I don't mean to insult you at all. Can you read and write? Is that a yes?
Yeah.
Thank you. I hate that question, but I just got to make sure I asked that. We're under.
Just skip all the formalities, because I don't know what's going on. You need to tell me what's going on. I know what my rights are, so.
But you understand that I do have to read, and you have to understand, and just at least initial and sign, or just and then we'll cut right to it. I'm not going to sit here and drag you through anything, and we're going to get to all the secrets and stuff. All right. So you can read and write. Today's is the 7/1/2020. 1710. You're in Special Assault Unit. And I'm going to read this whole form to you. If you have any questions, please stop me at any time, and I will ask you about what I'm reading. You have the following rights under the United States Constitution. You do not have to make a statement or say anything. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before you make any statement or before any questions are asked of you, and to have a lawyer with you during any questioning. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed for you before any questioning if you wish. If you do answer questions, you have the right to stop answering questions at any time and consult a lawyer. Mr. Baer, do you understand those rights? Understanding those rights, would you please do me a favor and just initial right there on each dot and then your signature, and I'm going to sign right underneath you. You mind initialing?
No.
Okay. But you do understand all the rights?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. This is my partner. Working team.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, you're fine. All right, Mr. Baer, like I said, I'm just gonna cut right to the chase. Your name has come up in my investigation. And I'm going to ask you a couple questions about it and your involvement or non-involvement. I'm just going to go. Do you know this gentleman right here?
Never saw him before.
Never saw him before?
At least I don't remember him.
Never recognized you. The name doesn't sound familiar.
No.
I understand you used to work here, right?
Mm-hmm.
When did you retire?
02.
02. And when did you get hired?
75.
Okay. Were you investigations at all, or where were you at in investigations?
Burglary, sex crimes, they called it inspections, part of internal.
Okay. Is that with the policies and stuff? I think we call it accreditation now or something like that, yeah.
Homicide, intelligence.
Okay. All right. Let me show you a couple more photos. I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and drag you through anything. I'm just gonna cover it.
What are y'all accusing me of?
You don't recognize anything?
I don't know who that is, no.
You don't know that? May 17th, 1999.
Just still didn't bring anything to me.
Had you ever been in his house?
I don't know. I don't know.
There's a book out there with the photos, would you mind?
Just photos?
Yeah, the photos, and we'll show you the house. Maybe you can recognize a little bit. Maybe like when you were in intelligence or anything?
I just don't remember.
You don't remember?
No, I mean, I don't.
What did you do in intelligence? I mean, I know they do a lot of things, but there's also some specialized units.
I was a liaison between the FBI, ATF.
And what were you doing with the FBI and ATF? Did you work on anything in particular?
Eurasian crime.
Eurasian crime, okay. Anything else? Money laundering?
Possibly. I just don't remember. It's been such a long time.
Okay. Money laundering. I think Agent Cassidy, Agent Hathaway. Hathaway worked for the FBI. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
Because you would have went on him on a couple of instances on the money laundering task force at the time, who
That's just, I don't remember. I don't remember.
No, don't remember?
Any of that.
Would you remember doing surveillance?
Look, if you're going to ask me any more questions, because I don't remember any of that.
Well, I am asking you questions.
I know, but I guess my point being is, obviously you're accusing me of doing something to this
What
guy.
would you think I'm accusing you of?
I don't know, but I want a lawyer.
Okay. All right.
Because obviously you're accusing me of something, because you got me under arrest.
I am.
I think I need a lawyer.
I think that's pretty obvious.
You know what you're
You
doing.
could keep showing me the pictures.
Well, I'm just saying, you know,
remember the guy.
you're in homicide, so you've been in
Yeah, I mean,
homicide.
I've seen a ton of pictures.
I'll let him know what he's charged with.
Yeah, so we do have an
What are you charging me with?
armed robbery
Okay,
and murder.
that's interesting.
It is. It's been a very interesting case.
Okay,
21 years, and
sounds like a long time.
feels good to put it down.
Okay. Do you think I did it?
I don't think.
Well, how do you know?
Do you want to
Just
continue to talk to me?
No.
You ask for
Okay.
a lawyer, we're going to stop right there. We
Dude,
can ask you
I've
more
been through
questions.
this.
I know you
We
have.
know.
But my point being is that I don't, you're automatically thinking I did something and I don't know what I did.
Okay.
We're positive.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you need anything?
You got video? 'Cause
Better than that.
Yeah, it's actually better. I'm going to just keep these out here because I don't want you to take the whole bottle.
Plan on taking the bottle.
If you need one, if you need anything, just knock on the door. If you'd like to talk to me a little bit more,
No, I don't.
please at any time,
If you
knock
got-
on the door.
Obviously, you got something to put me in jail for, so just put me in jail.
I will.
I'll
Okay,
get a
thank you,
lawyer.
sir. if you need anything, like I said, please don't.
As you can see, Baer's responses during the interview raised further questions for investigators. Despite his denial of involvement, the combination of forensic evidence and witness testimony built a strong case against both him and Schaefer. William Baer pled guilty to first-degree murder, kidnapping, armed robbery, and aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. He was sentenced to life in prison. Melissa Schaefer was sentenced to 30 years in prison for her role in the murder. This case remains a powerful example of how cold case investigations, coupled with new DNA technology, are helping bring long overdue justice to victims and their families. If you want more true crime updates and cold case breakthroughs, be sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay aware and stay safe.